So why is touch so powerful? And what is the role of touch in healing? According to Google, the most searched phrase of 2021 was how to heal, which is a big topic, right? And in my practice, I work a lot with touch, specifically Shiatsu-based touch. So let's take a look at why touch is so powerful and the role it can play in healing. Hi guys, it's Emily from the Shiatsu and Somatics channel, bringing you tips and information to support your health and wellbeing goals. In today's video, we're looking at the role of touch in healing, because it turns out there's a lot of people searching for how to heal or ways to heal. And in a pandemic, one of the things that went was touch. But touch is as old as we are. It's our first sense. And before the pandemic, I used to think that the one thing that could never be replaced by machinery, robots, AI was human touch. Sure, it could replicate, probably even do a pretty decent functional job, but it doesn't have the essence of human connection, of human touch. I thought, yeah, my job's going to be pretty safe. And then the pandemic happened, and touch was the first to go and the last to return, and how that return looks is still not even clear yet. So that was humbling. But in a way, I think it actually has highlighted and strengthened just how important, how fundamental human touch and human connection, that non-verbal communication through this tactile sense is and can be. Even the incidentals, the handshakes, the hugs, the high fives, the squeeze of connection, where a moment of touch can communicate or comfort more than any words. The need to touch and be touched is as old as we are humans. And science has looked at how purposeful touch, such as massage, can have a positive impact on our health and well-being. It can reduce the stress hormones like cortisol that can also influence things like our blood pressure and the functioning of our immune system, as well as increasing neurotransmitters like serotonin and releasing the hormone oxytocin. And for some, there may also be a reduction or lessening in pain. Touch may form part of a pain management strategy. What it's showing us is a shift or encouragement towards the parasympathetic state of being, that rest and digest, which is where the potential for healing can take place. It's pretty tricky if you're in a constant stress response to heal. The field of touch-based modalities is huge, and it may take time to find what works or resonates for you, what style or the type of practitioner. And it may change as life changes. But the evidence is there that purposeful touch can be positive and supportive. After all, touch is one of our 5 senses. And just as with all our senses, we can have different sensitivities. And for some people, having that tactile aspect, it's really important and necessary for maintaining a sense of connection and well-being. So it's important not to judge it, but honor it. And I'm biased because I love Shiatsu, and it's also what I do. But that comes from understanding and experiencing the power of Shiatsu touch as both a relaxing and therapeutic form of bodywork. I knew Shiatsu wasn't going to cure some things, but it could help me to manage, to feel grounded, connected. I often describe it as a feeling of coming home in yourself. And I was always interested in bodywork, but knew for me it wasn't about oil-based massage directly on the skin, which is where Shiatsu is different. And for some people, Shiatsu will be a very different experience to the traditional Western style of massage. And if you are new to Shiatsu or you're not quite sure what it is, then you can check out the video on this with links in the description below. But alongside the actual bodywork, what I also found was an elegance in the framework of Oriental medicine theory which Shiatsu sits within. As sometimes in our Western medicine model, we see a lot of different specialists that look at you in your individual parts. And what I loved and perhaps needed at the time was the holistic, integrated, whole of person approach that Shiatsu offers. And I resonated with the philosophies, the idea of balancing and working in harmony with nature, the internal and external environments, the consideration of seasons and cycles of life, the five elements, the correspondences. It all made a lot of sense to me. And over time, it became integrated, a way of understanding and seeing people and the world. And all this is what's held in consideration as part of a shiatsu, and why I think it can connect and touch so deeply. I see shiatsu as a tool to help us in these times. It's what works for me, and it feels good. But regardless, whatever modality or form of touch you might explore, it can have a profound impact on our sense of health and well-being. So thanks for stopping by, and I will see you next time. If you found this video helpful, please give it a shiatsu thumbs up.